Okay, so we did cash dividends, now we're going to look at stock dividends. So a stock dividend is a distribution of shares of stock to stockholders. Stock dividends are normally declared only on common stock and to common shareholders. The stock dividend affects only stockholders' equity. Specifically, the amount of stock dividend is transferred from retained earnings to paid in capital. The amount transferred is normally the fair value to market price of the shares issued for the common stock. So this company, they gave us information. We got a common stock with a $20 par, and there's 2 million shares issued. Paid in capital excess of par is $9 million, and retained earnings is $26.6. So it says on December 15th, Hendricks declares a stock dividend of 5%. So 5%, when it says a 5% stock dividend, that is a percentage of the shares outstanding. So shares outstanding for this was 2 million shares. Make sure I've got my zeros right here. 2 million shares of stock. So the shares that are going to be issued as a dividend shares, is going to be 5% of the 2 million shares. So 100,000 shares of stock. And this isn't cash, this is a share of stock. So to the 2 million shareholders that already have it, I'm going to give them an additional 100,000. That depends on how many shares of stock you own, how many shares you get, but it'd be 5% of whatever it is that you own. So how we record this at the date of declaration is we have a stock dividend, okay, similar to what we had with our cash dividend. And the other important part here is that the share price at the date of declaration was $31 per share. So the share price was $31 per share. Now, just like earlier when we looked at issuing stock, we record the stock itself in common stock, and eventually at the end. But anything different from the par value, any difference from the par value and the share price, we record in paid in capital in excess of par. So these have a $20 par value. So the stock dividend itself is going to be the 100,000 dividends, shares, I should say, share dividends, at $31 stock price per share. And this is at my date of declaration. Now I'm booking a stock dividend distributable, and this is a liability of sorts. The only difference is it's not a cash liability. It means I need to distribute the stock, but I only am going to credit this for the amount of the par value. So 100,000 shares times the par value. The remaining amount, like I kind of mentioned just a second ago, goes into paid in capital in excess par for $11. So the difference between the 31 and the 20, sorry, that number times the number of shares. Okay, for $1.1 million. And this is at the date of declaration. Again, the date of record, there's no entry for, but it doesn't matter because we need to know who to give the shares of stock to. And then for the date of actual payments, I'm going to actually distribute these. So stock dividend distributable, I'm no longer going to owe these shares of stock. I'm no longer going to owe these shares of stock to my shareholders. So I'm going to debit stock dividend distributable for the $2 million. And I'm going to credit common stock for the $2 million. So that is a stock dividend. Just because they're kind of short, actually we'll go to the next video. We'll do the last two things of the chapter.